baseball world. It is us. We are back. Neil, the AWG presidential candidate for 2024. Hashtag for the association. And of course, I am here with my press secretary, my chief of staff, my campaign manager, Dr. Bam Bam Clark. Is that dog you like that?
I do. I did. I was like, when you started with the press secretary, I was like, oh, well, hold on, more. Then you kept rolling it out, Neil Dog. Good.
I wasn't just going to say one, and I decided I was going to list them in order, like from least important to most important to me.
Yeah, right. You know, we need to get people before we bring them on the show to sign a pledge of support. You know we can't come on the show unless you're a supporter. You know what I mean?
You know, we sit there and record the intros for the podcast instead of saying thanks for listening to the Beepball Blue Show. Let's say thanks for voting for Neil Dog as president.
Hey, I support Neil Dog in 2024, and then say their name. Man, I like it. I like it. If they can't do that, Neil Dog, we don't have time for it. You know
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we had mentioned last week when we were explaining while we were down for a while that we had tried getting White Lightning, Dustin Youngren, on the show. So we circled back, wanting to get some shows in, get caught up, got him back on, and he decided to bring on some of his teammates. So from the Chicago Comets, we have Dustin Youngren, a.k.a. White Lightning, a.k.a. Lightning Bolt. We've got Bill Landram.
Hey, everybody! It's one Lightning Bolt. Strike again! Yes!
I'm going to try so hard to get Bill and Alex into the show a little bit, but I don't know. And you and I also, Seth. But I don't know Dustin's going to let us. We also have Home Run Man, Bill Landram. What's up, Big Bill?
What's going on, dudes?
Appreciate you coming back again. Had fun
of course,
last
man.
time you were on.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah,
it's Bill.
And we also have on for the first time an all-star in the Bonanza tournament last weekend, playing the mid for the Chicago Comets, Alex Gamiño.
You're too kind. Thanks. Pleasure to be here. It's
Did
my
I get
first
it right?
rodeo, but I'll try to look like a professional.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
that was it. Gamiño.
Yay, Neil Dog. All right. So now hopefully I have the vote of the very Mexican people. I'm sorry. That's a joke. I don't know if we were recording yet. I think we were on the live. I think we were live on Facebook.
I'll put in some good words, don't you worry.
Yeah. I wasn't being inappropriate. I was reacting to a joke Alex made earlier. I already lost the vote.
Trying to draw a distinction between you and the DB supporters, and there you go in the DB category, man.
Well, that might be a way to get votes. I don't know.
You never know.
All right, we're going too far in the weeds. Slow down. Fellas, how are you, man? You guys excited to have the tournament right there in your backyard this weekend?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
They want to drive
super
500 miles.
We are.
It's great for me because I literally live like 10 minutes away, so it's fantastic.
It's just a skip away, skippity doopity doo. It's like tiptoe through the tulips.
Oh, jeez.
I thought I had an easy drive at like 25 minutes, but I found out Bill lives right there. I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah, it's right down I just take Route 53 straight to the park.
You're letting everybody stay at your house this weekend so that they don't have to commute, right?
My house ain't big enough. I mean, yeah, I got a nice house, but it ain't that big.
Hey, Bill, how long have you been doing this now? I don't remember, to be honest.
Oh man, I started in 2012.
Oh, so the Bolingbrook tournament had been going on for quite a while before.
Oh yeah, no, the Bolingbrook tournament's been around since what, 2004?
Something like
2003,
it.
something like
Yeah,
that. It's been here a long time.
yeah.
It was JT Herzog. It was his dad who helped initially start the tournament. That's why the trophy for winning this tournament is named after JT's father.
I didn't know that early on, but I learned that just a couple years ago. Now that there's so much streaming going on, hearing one of the like award banquets, or
Yeah.
not really banquet, I guess, the award ceremony after the tournament's over on Sunday,
Yep.
and got to hear JT tell that story. It's impressive, along with the fact that you guys seem to send all 8 teams home with money.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and this is kind of getting off the path a little bit here, but the group that runs the tournament, which is the Bolingbrook Lions Club, they do a fantastic job of getting supporters and getting donations and doing sponsorships. They actually had a meat raffle that they did at a bar and grill here called Tailgaters, and a couple of us from the team were there helping with the raffle. And the money that they make from that and from other various things that they do all go into helping fund the tournament. And they do an amazing job of getting things organized and put together and making sure that the tournament runs well, right? Um, and there's it just you have to put your hats off to these guys because it's a lot of work. They start preparing for this tournament literally the weekend after we have it. They're already planning for the next one.
For the next one.
It's
And
it's a ton of work. It takes like $15,000 to run the tournament.
Whew.
yeah, beep baseball has gotten very, very expensive over the years.
And
There's
very,
no question
very
about
big.
I mean, of course, it has all the upgrades and equipment and stuff like
that.
that. You know?
With Bill knocking at least 5 balls dead every tournament, I wouldn't be surprised that it's gotten so pricey.
Right?
And now look, since 2003, because remember 2003, we didn't even have video. Everybody was just like, yeah, look at the comics one. Like, I want to watch it. And then like, no, there's nothing. And then now in today's generation and stuff, you're able to watch it on TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. It's like, wow. And now people are starting to get a feel of what it is and stuff. I've been telling people all around and stuff. And like, oh man, I want to see this. So I brought over some people who'll be coming over to see the Bolingbrook tournament, including my math teacher. And I'm like, oh yeah. So this sport is growing and stuff, and I really love that. And like, this is my sport. This is my home. I think if nobody ever, if anybody would disagree and stuff, I think they're all just a little drunk, you know? Like this sport is pretty much my home, my family. So
where most of our beep ball players, are right now. It's like 8, 9, 10 o'clock Central, East Coast, Friday night. So they might be a little tipsy, Dustin. Hey, Dustin.
yeah.
As I know you've been around beep ball most of your life pretty much, but you're newer to being a player. Outside of going back to the Bolingbrook tournament, outside of like the World Series, is this usually the most exciting tournament for you?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, yes, because well, back in 21 when I first started and stuff, like it's rookie things and stuff, and you don't know much about it. But as you start playing it after a couple years and stuff, and then you're like, I love Bolingbrook. I mean, because you get to bring all your family, your friends, and stuff. They like because we don't often have many tournaments because most of them are down south, and so now actually having just having the Bolingbrook tournament and having people watch and stuff, it's just like such a fire in my flame. Like I gotta give them a 5-star show. And so I can't do it alone, so I had to have my team help me out because a player can't help the team. The team has to help the player. And so when I'm depending with my team to back me up, since they're always gonna be in my back pocket and stuff, just having that fire all around us and stuff just gives me that that feeling, So I'm always excited for bowling, but the only thing is I always seem to trip right. If you've seen in 2000, I think 22. It was either 21 or 22. So I was running to third base, and I tripped as I was about to get to the base. I did a cartwheel. And
I remember that.
I jumped to the base. I'm like, oh, look at this! And now my cousins Dave, Terry, and Samantha, they call me Flying Squirrel, or Hoodley calls me Squirrely. So I'm like, yeah, I think I'm
Is that
squirrely
where that came from?
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
funny.
That's exactly where it came from.
Are
Yes.
you, Dustin? Are you like kind of like crazy athletic? Can you do flips and stuff off benches and stuff like that?
Whoa.
It depends if I have that adrenaline rush. And so back in 2000 and
I'm not encouraging you to go try stuff when you have an adrenaline rush, but when you
Yeah,
talk
let's-
about hopping over bases and stuff, I was wondering. If you...
2021, my first year, and I haven't done it since. But back when we were going against the Bandits and stuff, because like I didn't know, so I scored I scored my first run against the Bandits and stuff, and I did a backflip and stuff, and I'm like, JT's like, Dustin, what are you think? What do you think you're doing? You're gonna break your neck. Okay, sir.
I'm with JT. Seth and I had a pitcher that played with us on and off when we were the Dogs, Brian Doris, and he did flips, and every time we would like win a game, he would run over to like the team bench and do a backflip off of it, and we're like, man, we're fighting year in and year out just to get a pitcher to the tournament, man. You gotta go break your neck in the middle of it.
And,
I'm
that's why I saved that for the martial arts training.
So more, I just do
Hey,
all my.
hold on. Can I jump in here? You know what?
we could try.
I know. Man, I know Dustin is a crazy athlete, but first, Dustin and Bill have been on here. Alex, man, I know nothing about you, Alex. I'm sorry. I'm not all up on the beepball population like perhaps your future president Neil McDonald is. But so Alex, who are you, man? How'd you get into beepball? You know, how long you been blind, all that stuff, man. Before we get too far astray, man, tell me who you are,
Before
No, don't
Dustin
worry. I
goes
feel
into
like
2023.
man.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
feel like a lot of people would probably say they don't know me too well. I feel like I don't put myself out there too much, not on purpose or anything. Just that's just how it is, I suppose. But my name's Alex. I am 22 now, and I've been visually impaired my whole life. I can't see out of my right eye at all. I have microphthalmia, and I have not very good vision in my left eye, but I still have some, so that's cool. I've been playing beat ball since 2017, start of that season, so this is my 8th year. So I've been doing it since I was 15, actually.
Always with the Comets.
Always with the
They
Comets.
brought you
Yep.
in.
I was born and raised in Chicago. Been here my whole life. Went to college here and everything.
What he's
Oh.
not telling you is I brought him into the sport.
This is
Nice.
true. I started as
We
playing
started playing
blind
hockey.
hockey, and had Bill on my team, and he recruited me over to beat baseball. And now that I'm not playing hockey anymore, I'm still doing beat baseball.
When did you
Yeah, go ahead, Neil.
start with the blind hockey?
I think that was probably 2015, 16, something like that.
Yeah, it was 2015. You were there at the Tri Hockey Clinic, and then when we started that fall, when we started our first season with the Chicago Blackhawks blind hockey team, you were there, and they were starting you off as they were training you as a forward, if I remember correctly.
Yep, I was there since the inception.
Yeah, I was too. I started out as a center, and then they moved me to goalie.
We're California people got no idea
Yeah.
what any of that means.
Not a single blind person out here
I-
has ever thought of blind hockey.
Oh, it's great, dude. It
Still
is
play.
crazy. Bill is killer as a goalie.
Yeah,
Do you guys both still play?
I don't anymore.
Alex doesn't. Yeah, I still do. I missed last season because of a knee injury that happened at the end of the beep ball season. But I will be back on the ice and in net this winter.
I don't want to go too far off in the weeds, but I am curious, like from both of you, like how big is blind hockey, just like comparing it to beep ball or blind soccer or something like how
We have a U.S. Paralympic national team for blind hockey. I'm actually one of the reservists on that team.
nice. Congrats.
Um, we've got what are this, 18 teams in the States, and I think there's 10 teams in Canada. There are now teams in England, Russia, and a couple of other countries. It's actually quite a large community, but it started back in the 70s up in Canada, and they brought it to the States in 2015, and Chicago was the inaugural first team in the U.S. to become a part of the International Blind Hockey Federation.
That's very cool,
Could,
See,
actually.
I didn't even know
could
all
you
that.
could
That's
you
crazy.
Yeah,
just in like a minute, could you tell us the outlines of the rules? How to
so it's
picture it?
it's very close to NHL rules. The biggest difference is that when the puck is brought into the offensive zone, the offensive team has to complete one pass before they're allowed to shoot on net. Otherwise, the rules are pretty much identical to regular ice hockey.
What
That
makes
being said,
noise?
the
The puck.
The puck and nothing else?
Yeah, no, the only thing that makes noise is the puck and the voices of your teammates. The one advantage or modification to the rule is that they go by USABA for the blind classifications. And so your B3s and B2s typically are your forwards. And so your offensive players usually have some sight. So they reserve defensemen and your goalie as B1. And then if your goalie
Oh,
isn't
got you.
fully B1, then the goalie is to be blindfolded. And the goalie is the only player on the ice in a blindfold.
correct. That is what I was going to say.
Got
So
you. Okay.
so B1, B2, B3 are all playing together on the same team. There's
Correct.
Correct. And then for each person who's a B3 or B2 on the ice at the time of play, you're issued a point. And when you have so many points, any other player outside of that point total has to be a total. So usually we'll have a high partial forward with a mid partial second forward, and then the centerman is usually either a low partial or a total, and then your defensemen are totals.
How many
it,
players? 11?
Five on the ice and one goalie.
Okay.
And then just like with hockey, you'll have, multiple lines of players for defense and offense. Usually you'll play in shifts and you change players roughly every 45 seconds to a minute and a half. Because when you're on the ice, you're going all out for that 45 seconds to a minute and a half. It's like running sprints constantly. So,
This
yeah,
is correct as well.
the only person who doesn't come off the ice typically is the goalie, unless there's a backup goalie, then they'll switch goalies halfway through the game.
what is the sound that the puck makes? Like, is it a
So
bell or?
the puck is a metallic hockey puck, about 3 times the size of your standard hockey puck. It's made of literally it's made of steel. Inside of the hockey puck are bearings. So when the hockey puck is moving and on the ice, it's audible.
Okay,
If the
cool.
puck gets lifted off the ice, then the goalie's in trouble because you have no idea where it's at. It goes silent. So then it becomes a guessing game. You have to guess the trajectory of the puck off the stick to get your body in front of it and hope like hell it hits you.
Well, man, sorry for the long diversion, especially while we're getting to know you, Alex. But we don't we,
No worries.
we don't have a lot of opportunity to talk blind hockey on the Beepball Blues show. So
It's
that,
an interesting tangent. I do not blame you.
that was kind of cool. Hold on one second, Dustin. So, Alex, man, you're this is your eighth season. Um, you jumped in on earning an all-star trophy or all tournament trophy last weekend in the Bonanza. Have you always been a mid player, or is that a new spot for you?
Actually, that is kind of a new spot for me. I've usually been by the baseline. Like I'm usually by third, usually.
Okay.
But since the start of this outdoor season, they've been trading me in more places, and I've recently got into that mid spot, and I guess they like me out there, so I guess I'm sticking to it.
Ahead of the season with the changes to where rather than just the short people that get the most putouts making the getting all the attention, did you put any thought going into this season? Were you excited that they're breaking it up into short, mid, and deep? Did you give it much thought before getting your trophy last week?
Oh, I did, yeah. I'm always eager to try new spots, but always a little apprehensive. Especially if it's like something I'm not used to, obviously. But I'm always willing to learn. And at the start of this, when they announced new defensive um what's it called, layouts and stuff like that, I was happy to learn.
Nice. Nice. And as we kind of fade into talking about the comments, I was gonna since you're talking about defense and we'll bring Bill and Dustin, you guys back in. So my teammate from the Sirens, Kalari, played with you guys in the Bonanza tournament, and
Shoot.
she was telling me, and obviously she, the Sirens barely know her at this point, because she played for the Comets for so long. So like you guys did, just borrow her. You got your old teammate back for a weekend. I shouldn't make it sound so simple. But she was telling me you guys changed the defense up a little bit.
Yeah.
Bill, starting with you, could you tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing now?
So our defense now is similar to that which you would see in regular baseball. All right, so a lot of you guys know the point defense, where you've got your guy up front at the point, and then you got your two guys on the base, and then you might have like a short center, and then your outfielders, right? Well, we kind of transitioned that. We kept that point guy there, but now we've moved it to where you have a almost like regular baseball infield. So, for example, last week, before he got hurt, Gerardo was playing first base. You got Alex playing at what we would, that middle spot, we consider that second base. Dustin was kind of manning my usual spot for the last several years, which is that shortstop position, which would be like in between second and third base if we had a second base. And then, we had Hoodley playing third base. And then what we do now is we have a single rover. And in that tournament over the weekend, I think it was Lamarian who was playing the deep spots.
Correct.
And
Shout
we
out to
just,
Lamarian. He had to move a lot that weekend.
yeah, and so we just kind of shift the outfielder around based on who's hitting.
All right.
So the infield is a Major League Baseball. We call it our MLB defense.
So generic, I know.
So the shortstop and the second base position, how deep are those?
About 115, 120 tops.
Yeah, sounds right.
And
So,
then the
like,
baseline, the basemen, first and third, are pretty much even with the bag. And then we have a point guy, which is right behind the pitcher at about 80, 85 feet.
Depends on the player sometimes. If we know that they're not going to be able to hit hard, so the first or third baseman
Might pinch in, right? We'll
pinch in.
adjust depending on
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
hitting.
yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. But overall,
I
five.
like it. I like it. I gotta say, right? I mean, people say, "Oh, you have so many people short," but and it's medium to short or whatever. You kind of are rolling your dice on balls that are hit 140 feet in the air. But most balls hit 140 feet in the air
Are gone anyways.
Yep.
True.
So you want to pick up. Man, you want to pick up you got to have those 105 footers.
Exactly.
You got to have them.
And so the idea here is to fill in those gaps. And if you hit it that far and our outfielder can't get it, more power to you.
Right. Yeah. I like
So
it.
that's
Oh,
what I
come
was
on.
going to clarify. 5 of your 6 players are inside 120 feet.
Correct.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
then the one roving outfielder is about 145, 150, and we just move him around wherever we feel he needs to be.
The way I got you, Dustin. Give me 1 second. The way you described it too, I like because that's the same way Kalari was describing it to me. She's, said how you guys like set it up like a regular baseball infield, and I didn't know. I never got a chance to ask her where you were putting the other two players. Um, but I just, haven't had eyesight for nearly 11 years and playing a lot of baseball and watching a lot of baseball. Yeah, that's easy for me to kind of vision. But also like Seth, I'm very much believe in getting the most fieldable balls. And the first two levels are where the most fieldable balls normally are. And I do like putting an emphasis on just closing all of that off. And if you get beat, you get beat.
Yeah, and that's the idea.
Go on.
Dustin,
beats.
you were trying to jump in?
Huh?
Were you trying to jump in?
He's always trying to jump in.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
right.
Dusty.
Sorry, yeah, no, it definitely beats what we done last year during the Oklahoma tournament. I felt that if we would have had this type of defense last year, especially during Oklahoma, I think we would have been a lot easier because we were in the threes and fives instead of twos and fours, like how we have it. But no, back in Indiana stuff, I have to give out shout outs to Lamarion because there was this banger that hits right off almost like 150 feet and stuff over me. And Lamarion just charges back and stuff. The guy misses the base. Lamarion gets the ball and it was out. Like, whoa. Like, whoa. So I was so excited. And there's one ball, if I was just a couple steps to the left, I might have caught it. It would have hit me most likely right in the face, but oh well. But it went
an improvement.
Shoulder, and right behind me, Lamaria just got it for me. I'm like, I'm just so happy because I'm right at the midsection and stuff. So if Kalari couldn't get it or Hoodley couldn't get it and stuff, I was right by the line and stuff because coach wanted somebody that's quick on the field that's able to because I really like where I'm at and stuff. Because I always played at the first base. Normally or back in 22, I was at right rover, and to be honest, I really hated that position.
Yeah, everybody does.
I really hated that position.
Unless you're playing a team with a bunch of lefties, which the league really doesn't have much of. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes that spot.
When I was back in Beaumont and stuff, going against the Edge, and this is when they were dominant. I mean, very dominant. And I was out there, and if they did hit it towards my side and stuff, it was at a 1 or a 2, and like, yeah, it's going by that tree. I'm not going like, yeah. Forget about this.
You're probably gonna have to play them this week. You might not want to speak of them in past tense, there, Dusty.
Oh,
just saying.
If he puts me,
way back when they were good.
There's
a two-time defending champs right now.
Hey, if we can't find Dustin after this weekend,
we know why.
Yeah.
And I know JT say, "Hey, Dustin, guess what? What? I'm putting you up right over. I've seen that the people lose. Like, no."
I don't think you have to worry about JT watching.
I'll be honest with you. I was happy to play right field because that means that I had my bat in the lineup because I was terrible defensively the first half of my career. I was a defensive liability. It was either DH or they'd hide me in right to get the extra bat in the lineup.
Excuse me,
man. So now I'm just counting off the Ks. You know what they say in Ks of the putouts and Beepball. So Richard, I was just talking to him today and said, like, you should call down from 18 down for each put out and stuff, like 18, 17, 16. I'm like, okay, he's got 3 outs, he's gone.
That's what we did as the Dogs.
That was what that's what made us, I thought, our defense so good. We always thought of every game as 18 outs. So every practice,
every round of defensive practice.
But what it translated into was when we'd go out there on the field, right? When we were in the fifth inning, we would still be saying to each other, play 15, play 13,
Yeah.
right? Because we always thought of the entire game in 18 out segments. And you know, we practiced it and then it just translated. And so it's a good way to think because you have to make 18 outs one way or the other to win the game. You know, there's no other way around it. So
Has
it's
there
a
ever
good way
been?
to think.
I mean, you know, you pitchers can't strike out there because they want to hit. But has there ever been a game where there was a no hitter?
Yes.
Well, no hitter.
In
Yes.
other words, the opponent didn't score at all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Dusty,
there's
yeah,
been a lot of them.
yeah. The
I
last
I was on the
is that
wrong end
different?
of two of
Is
them
a
in just a couple months ago.
is a no scorer different than a no hitter? Like full of Ks, just strikeouts?
Not always. I mean,
Yeah.
put out
Okay,
10,
no.
put out 10 Ks. They don't.
Yeah,
They don't
the
call it
last
a
one
no
that
hitter though. They're just a shutout or whatever.
I
Oh,
don't know
okay,
if
yeah, that makes
anybody's
sense.
ever struck out an entire
uh
There have been
18
some that have come really close.
yeah,
But
there was it
there
was
probably have been
close.
some, but someone that's done it.
2017, we were playing the Rochester Pioneers, and we ended up running them 17-0. I remember that game specifically because the coach got so mad when I hit the home run that they felt like we were just running up the score. And so, JT pulled me out of the game. It's like, yeah, you're done. You hit your homer, go sit down. But I remember them having, oh my God, they had to have like 15 or 16 strikeouts that game. It was something crazy. And we ended up beating them 17-0.
That is not fun beep
No,
ball.
I can't.
That's not. Nobody could take credit for anything. That's
They were
everybody
not
wasted their time coming out.
right. I mean, that's one of those games where you just you almost feel bad for them because
Yeah.
they didn't enjoy a damn thing.
Yeah.
You don't know if you should cradle them or spank them. Like what?
All right, easy,
Maybe
on the
it's
spankings.
maybe it's because it was my first year, but I didn't remember that game. But
You weren't there at that series. That was in West
oh, that
Palm
was at the
Beach.
series. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
What was
Yeah,
your
I
first
still got the
series,
home run
Alex?
ball.
That was
What
my
was your
first year,
first?
2017, but that was the one year that I had something going on the week of the World Series, so I couldn't make it.
So the first one
so
you went
you
to
were
was
with it
2018.
2017. So
Yeah,
you were with
Yes.
them in 2016, but you just didn't.
Gotcha.
Yeah, both him and I actually started the same year, but I stopped in 17 for family issues. Then I came back in 21 after when everything cleared up. So yeah, Alex, yeah, he's really good between Danny and him and stuff. Really good shortstops, if I had to ask.
Thanks, man.
Hey,
You're now
so
middle now. Oh yeah, he's crushing it and stuff. There's nothing more I can say because Alex will just show you off.
did any of you happen to catch our episode with Rob Wiseman a few months ago?
I did not.
He wrote an article,
How dare you guys?
I know, right?
You know, how dare you?
I'm sure it's the only one you missed though. So
Yes.
Hey,
Hey.
by next time I'm on, I'll be able to quote all the episodes.
Okay, excellent.
So like in his day-to-day job, Rob does data processing, and so he's just used to playing with numbers, and he got carried away this off season and started throwing together winning percentages of teams from the World Series since 2006. So he started the study from when we started playing under the current rules that we play under, where everybody goes into the championship round from 2005, and before that there was a championship round and a consolation bracket. So his study is basically like the best kind of winning percentages overall, or not even winning percentage, that like best average of how high teams finish. Going back to again 2006. Anyways, our the dogs that Seth and I play with, they came in like sixth place, and I believe the Chicago Comets came in seventh place. And if the next time you guys get a top 10 finish, you're going to jump up ahead of us to the sixth spot. Um,
Huh.
so I mean, I guess I was hoping somebody from your team had at least read Rob's article or known that or whatever. But so circling back, I mean that my question really has nothing to do with the team, just like putting information out there that the next time you guys get in a top 10 finish, you guys are going to be bumping the dogs back and moving up to number 6. You guys finished 12th last year, which is I'm sure lower than what you planned on or expected.
Yeah,
There were
it
some good
was.
moments in that series and stuff. We both Bill and I both hit a home run, but we could offensively we could shut you down. Defensively, you can rock us to sleep and say good night.
We were not good defensively last year.
That was kind of the tournament last year, though, right? I mean, really?
Yeah, I mean, which team was good defensively?
Yeah, I mean,
Realistically, but
the Jets won the Spotters Award, and I do believe the Jets have a really good defense. But like the undefeated game on Friday, I think was 25-24 or something, like what I mean. It was no defensive struggle, but that was not a defensive tournament. It wasn't. Those fields weren't defensive.
I feel that
No.
You could tell from day one.
Good. St. Charles, the grass depends because we played in early July, so we're playing near late July, and I think grasses are going to be really good. Back in Indiana, the balls just died, and we were doing really good defensively in that game. That's what pretty much saved us. I believe St. Charles is going to be a very good field. It's not going to roll like Beaumont or Oklahoma, and you're like, okay, it went past me. I got to chase them now, Sonic the Hedgehog style. Here I go.
Yeah, the reality is a lot of what you're going to see will be dependent on weather, right? If there's a lot of rain, the fields are going to be a lot slower.
Yeah.
If we get a dry spell and you get high heat, high humidity, no rain, those fields are going to dry up, the grass is going to die off, and it's going to move.
Oh yeah.
So you really aren't going to know what you're going to have until you get there.
Yeah, nobody can really predict what the weather's going to do between now and in late July.
Right.
So, no, you're 100% right. Getting away from, like last year, whatever, going forward. How are you guys feeling? Start with you, Bill. How are you guys feeling as a squad to jump back up into the area where you expect?
Listen, we expect to be a top 10 team every year. We strive to be a top 5 team every year. Whether or not that happens, some of it is all about skill, some of it is luck, and some of it is you're at the mercy of the umpires, right? I mean, you guys have played a long time. You know how that goes.
Seth and I have never blamed anything on an umpire.
If you leave it up to the umpire, you didn't do something right.
This is true. If it's too close, there's a problem. But the reality is, you don't always have full. The ball could just take a bad hop over you. It could go, hit off somebody and ricochet away that no one's in position. You just don't know. But we always strive to be, at the very least, a top 5 team. That's what we always strive for. Last year, offensively, we did well.
We got out of a 12-run rule from Thunder.
We sure did.
What they put you in the run rule and you were able to fight back?
We were able to fight back and ended up taking it to the last inning. Yes, we did. That was in Bolingbrook.
No, that too. Yeah. We beat Edge in last year. We were so close against Thunder. If we were at the bottom of the inning, the home team, I think we would have closed that game.
We would have had a shot, yes. But I mean, the reality is we're not happy with how we finished last year. Nobody is.
And so this year we got new volunteers. We got some new people, and developing and coming out strong and stuff, yeah, I think we can get a shot as long that our bats are hot and stuff, and our defense is very good, like how it was in Indiana. I think we got something. I think I feel a spark coming in like lightning.
Who gets credit for your new defense?
I'll give it up to the spotters.
No, I mean who created it?
So
Oh,
the design of it was actually our pitcher, Chad Perry,
Okay.
came up with the idea, and him and JT had talked about it and planned out how they would do it, and we implemented it in a practice just to see how it would look, and it looked good, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna roll with this.
I as soon as I felt it, and like, yeah, this is home. They're like, I love this. Like, oh yeah.
Let me ask you a question about your defense. Who? I don't know what your call is for right up the middle. 1, 5. What is it?
It's
one?
a 6.
It's a
A
6.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
Whose ball is a dead 6 at 85 feet?
That's Danny's.
That's gonna be Danny Hernandez, yeah.
Is
That's
that the short
what
middle?
position? Yeah. What
So he's the
position?
point man.
Okay.
Danny plays
So
it
he goes
right in the
So-
center, right in a 6 at around 80 feet. So if it goes right behind him, he's supposed to go right, roll over and pick it up from right behind him.
Yeah, I mean it's 85 feet. Danny's there, right behind the pitcher, right up the middle.
How far back can he go? I'm always interested in how teams deal with the collision points of coming into the middle.
So for us, it's
how
all
far can
communicated.
he go back?
It's
So
all
for this
communicated.
last tournament in Indiana in particular, I was in a right field around a 5, so that's like right off the middle, and Dustin was in left like 4-3-4-ish. But I was a little bit more shallow than Dustin. So if anything was a 6, I would be able to get there right away, and he would back me up. And if I needed to come up, I would come up if I needed to. So I told Danny that like anything that's like past more than like I don't know, like 10 feet or so, I'd be able to come up and grab it right there. So
Yeah, and
Right.
the
The
is right.
idea is that the person behind you, if the ball gets by you and you say, buy me left, buy me right, over, whatever it may be, it's the responsibility of the person who's then coming in to call off the shorter positioned player to prevent them from coming back and risking collision.
Right. Yeah. No, I was thinking on the side to side, the players coming side to side. But yeah, no, it's clear. I get it now from what how Alex explained that front guy gets it there.
Third or first base and stuff. They don't want to go more past the 4, maybe a 5 if more, because people who are in the mid and stuff, unless the ball is short and stuff, then yeah, you're gonna go all the way to that 6-5 and stuff. But anything that goes past us and stuff, they're gonna stay at either wherever they were located, because the third baseman is gonna be at a 2, pretty much. And if they had to run off to 6, they're never gonna get it. So that's why more by the mid we are at a 4 to back them up and stuff. And luckily for between Alex and I, we have the speed to run towards that line at a 2-1. So
the players that are playing first and third, how far off the line are they? Both in 2s? Are they?
So yeah, they're usually in a 2, roughly about 10 to 15 or 12 to 15 feet from the foul line.
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, it's for me, it's like an easy concept. I think it'd be fun to practice with you guys. and
I know. I'm always wanting to play with some legends,
Well, I'll try to find some to send out to you.
I can't believe that Smoka is back after
Who?
Joe Smoka.
Oh yeah.
He's back with Tigers, I heard. So I'm like, wow. I just found out from my grandfather's birthday, and so I spoke to him. He said, "Oh yeah, my doctor just cleared him because he suffered through a roller cuff injury."
Rotator cuff injury, that hurts.
That was supposed to retire him,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I'm like,
Now
wow.
he went back last year, as I understood it, because it would have been his 40th anniversary from the first time he played,
Wow.
if I heard that right. So he wanted to be there last year, and then I think he just had fun and fits in with the team. Clearly, you guys don't want him, won't let him back. No, I'm kidding.
That's not even close to true, but
Hey,
you
yeah,
know,
casting off, a legend of your own team,
he
man. That's that's
he
pretty
actually left
hardcore,
on
man.
his own accord. Well, when he first decided that he was going to play for Tyler, we actually were kind of upset that he bailed.
Like, wow, how dare you?
No, that
It
is weird that like a smoker on a not like a tune's not in Chicago.
it
That's unheard
kind of
of, actually.
surprised us when that first happened. We're like, whoa, hold up, wait a minute. You know, I understood playing with the USA Legends team that one season, but
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
decided to stay with
I,
Tyler,
Yeah.
yeah, that
like,
was actually kind of jarring at first, to be honest with you.
Man, I
you
was
know,
just being silly. I wasn't trying to open no can of worms.
you know,
No, you're good,
like,
man.
I really do like the Tigers. I do respect them and stuff. Pretty good. It's a pretty good team and stuff. But I just wish that we were able to see them in more tournaments and stuff, like maybe Indiana, the central states. But unfortunately, funds, money, it's all into that and stuff.
I
But
used I used to love the Tigers until Larry and Rosie nominated Richie for president. Oh, kidding. I'll still love me some Reeds. I love me some
Ouch.
Reeds. I love me some Reeds. I'll just
All right.
tongue in cheek. Man,
Good
so
times.
talk about the tournament this weekend. Do you what's your lineup looking like tomorrow?
oh
So we've got our full lineup really in play.
my our captain.
Because you were missing a lot last week, right?
You
We
were
were
missing
missing a lot last week.
myself, you were missing Gio, you were missing Richie, you were missing one of our new guys, Alex Gillespie, who we used to play with the Reapers and then the Falcons. He moved to Illinois, so now he's with us.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Seth and I had him on the show a few years ago as part of the
Wow.
Falcons.
we're also down Noah Beckman. He's been out with a knee injury.
Hmm.
Uh,
We're hoping that he's going to be recovered for the series. And then we had a quad injury to Gerardo last week. But for the most part, we're going to be throwing out pretty much our A lineup. You're going to have myself, you're going to have Richie, you're going to have Gio, you're going to have Lamarion, you're going to have Dusty, you're going to have Alex and Danny. And we're going to be able to mix and match and move things around to get the best matchups that we can throughout the tournament. Um, and we're going to go out there and really hope that everyone plays together, plays tight, defense is good, bats are swinging like they need to be, and we'll put our best foot forward and see how many wins we can walk away with.
I mentioned
Dust. Who's this Dusty? The last time I checked it, I think that was the White Lightning.
No, you're cloud of dust once the lightning hits the ground.
Oh wow! Don't worry, Dave Taylor. Dave, I was just talking to David Taylor of the Empire, and he's like, "No, you're just more than just a drizzle." Like, wow! Thank you very much for the
I
compliment.
heard that. I was in line to bat and you said white lightning strikes again and he said, "Oh, I felt a drizzle." Brutal.
Alex and Bill, is this guy gotten too carried away talking about himself in third person all the time?
He does this on the
Since day
daily.
one.
That when he reached out to me, he's like, "Hey, Neil Dog, White Lightning would love to come on your show and talk about the Battle of
Only,
Illinois."
only on the field. Once I'm in the beatball mindset and stuff, I play like I'm White Lightning, but when I'm just at home, do my own little thing and stuff, look at social media and this and that. I'm Dustin Younger and just that normal person. Well,
I
whatever.
don't
No,
believe it for a
There's
second.
there isn't
I
a
feel
Bill
like
da-
you have your
Cares.
kids call you white lightning.
there is not a dang thing normal
I,
about you,
I, I
Dusty. I
believe
love
your
you to death, but you're not normal.
I believe your kids get a whooping if they don't call you White Lightning.
When I'm in the hotel room and stuff, even Bill will vouch for me here. I'm like, I'm just very quiet. I don't really do much. So like here,
I
it's
will admit that I roomed with him before, and he is a quiet guy. When you get him outside around other people, and it's not a more subdued environment, he's off the wall. But
Right.
you learn to
I
love
can't
him.
imagine I cannot imagine the calmer version with him.
I
That's
think what Dustin does is like leech off of the energies of the people around him and siphoning it into his own.
right.
Exactly. Exactly what it is.
So I meant to pull up the brackets, the turn and just didn't get around to it. The tournament itself, isn't it pretty much the same as the Bonanza, only Austin is there instead of the Indy Gray team?
It
Yes.
is.
Yep.
So correct. Our bracket, we're gonna open up with
Awesome.
the Austin Blackhawks. Then game two, we've got the Indy Edge, and then we're gonna play the Philly Fire.
I thought it was
The other bracket is gonna be I believe it's the Heat, the Archers, the Thunder,
in the
and
scrap
Cleveland.
In Cleveland, yeah, that sounds right. Yep.
mixed up
Poor,
with those.
hey, poor Cleveland, huh?
Yeah,
Uh,
I guess
that's
there's no way to get around it, but
that's a
certainly not.
long Saturday
Yeah, that's
right
not
there.
an easy draw right
That's a
there,
long
Yeah,
Saturday.
that's they got a ride.
man.
They it was only going to be originally like a 1 year thing, but they Nathan, our boy Nathan Wygan is back pitching with them, and looks like he's going to be staying with them. So
They got a
I
good one.
yeah, no, I got to see him pitch one game last year, and I was impressed with the poise he showed on the mound or whatever. So
He's got a decent contact percentage too. He really
considering
does.
considering how little he's done it, really, like in games, decent is is a really good start.
Yeah,
It's a really good start.
he's got something going there, and I think Cleveland's got a good one right there. Once he develops and develops with them and develops that accuracy, there's the potential to do some damage there. Especially you got Jeff Dell up there. He can bang if he gets a hold of one.
No, definitely. They got some promising stuff, and I think I think getting a young pitcher nothing's going to, like, if they're looking to bring younger players and build their program back up, nothing's going to help with that more than, a young promising pitcher. So
Right.
hopefully
Exactly.
that'll work out for them. I really don't have anything else for you guys. Do you have anything else as far as Chicago Comets, Beep
only
Baseball?
only
White
thing I
Lightning,
can
anything else you guys want to throw out before we part?
only thing I can fully say is that don't count us out just because we might be down. That can be our greatest advantage. We can turn anything around in a blink of an eye.
Sometimes it's beautiful being the underdog. Um,
That's true.
uh, as,
he's gonna
as
kill me for this, but I am gonna give one little shout out. All right, and this is to JT. JT has announced that at the end of the season he is going to retire as the coach of the Comets.
Boo.
No
And
shout out
so
to JT is a little shout out, Bill.
I
Yeah, love that.
listen, man. JT to me is like a father figure. I love the man to death, and it's gonna be hard to see him walk away as far as the on-field presence and that consistency that was always there. Even when he stopped coaching before, he was still there. He couldn't pry himself away from the game, but
Yeah.
now, he's going to focus more on his family and dedicating more of his free time to his wife, and I can only commend him for that. I can completely understand where he's coming from, especially with what's going on in my own personal situation that I don't really talk much about, but I can understand why he's stepping away, and I wish him the best of everything when the season's over.
No, absolutely. Especially like people like Seth and I, we've been around the game since the mid '80s, and we're here doing this stupid show because we still care about it. And JT's just one of those people. Like he's dedicated so many years of his life to the sport, and
Yeah,
he's a part of, he's a big part of that Chicago history now.
yeah.
So no,
This is his 23rd season.
yeah, no,
He
I mean he's earned it. He's definitely earned it.
so my hat goes off to him.
Yeah, he
Hey,
first.
I tip my hat to him as well. Can I make a joke now? I'm sorry. I
Go
do
ahead.
tip
No.
my hat to JT. I
What's
do.
your
I was
joke?
just going to comment on counting them out. I never, the Comets.
Oh boy.
We've played the Comets. I don't know how many times over my career, and they are. I would never say I counted them out until it was Thursday night, and I'd see them coming into the hotel with a big cooler of beer. That's what I would count
The
them
Comet
out.
water.
Hey,
Yep.
they cannot speak for all of us. I have never personally, so
Good
not my
man.
team. Nope.
Good,
Good
good.
man. It's very important, man. But I used to
Yes.
love it. On Thursday night, see the Comets come in with a big cooler. It's like, they're good. We're done. The Comets are done for Friday. It's all good.
It didn't always hurt all the teams though. I mean,
Not
nothing
all of them.
nothing nothing burned me more in the 90s that the Austin Blackhawks won the championship from 92 until 98. And during most of those years, because back then the tournament started on Wednesday, you catch half of the lineup in the bar on Tuesday night before the round robin. They're in the bar having beers, man. It's like then they go score 30 runs on you. It was frustrating and offensive.
All right. Hey, well, Alex, I'm glad to hear you're breaking the tradition, man. It's important, right?
Yeah, the team has hope, a hopeful future.
Yes. And maybe you'll win a championship at some point down the line.
This young blood is starting a new generation.
There you go. That's what we're interested in. Good.
Hey, before we part, I would like to ask one like a favor. Do you guys have any advice on helping me with coaching Kalari Gertley Jackson? Because she don't listen to me. She don't listen to nothing I say. I mean,
You know,
Not surprised.
once
neither
a woman
real-
has her ways, once a woman has her ways, I mean, you just gotta roll with it, and maybe just
don't get us in trouble with the
Yeah.
gender roles.
All right, we already got
Slow that down.
The
I can't
Kalari
say it's
thing.
not just her. None of them
Here's
listen to
Miss
me. They don't
Independent.
listen to me. It's offensive.
Why would a woman like to listen to us
Here
men?
we go. Here, well, that's a little bit better. And I don't have a good answer for that, so that's a good time to knock
I
this out.
would say, after your other comment earlier, I would say, man, let's just steer away from it. As your
Yeah.
campaign
Right.
manager,
Yeah.
let's just go away from that.
Let me just give you this. Be patient. Patience is key, man. Just because you don't think she's listening doesn't mean she's not listening. She's just Kalari, and we love her.
Yes.
Just because she ain't listening doesn't mean she doesn't hear me.
That's correct.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I have learned something. All right. Well, that is it. I
All right.
appreciate you guys banging out some time on a Friday night before the tournament starts. Thank you.
Yes, good luck
Thank you for
tomorrow.
having us.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Good to meet you, Alex. Always fun to have you back, Bill, Dusty. Man, I'm not as worn out as normal. I was able to hold in there with you. You did well. You did well.
It's because you had me and Bill as buffers there for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Thanks for
All right. Well, that's it from us. Seth and I will be back. We haven't even talked about it, but we'll be back not too long after this Bolingbrook Bash, and we'll run down everything we find out about it. Until then, everybody be well.
See you guys.
Take it light.
Woohoo.